Now, remember what we said is we're looking for when the independent variable is 0 and the dependent variable is whatever number that is. So we're looking for the ordered pair 0b. That's really easy to find in this one because we have 0 right here in our table. So that tells me that my b is 0. This is going to be a proportional function. It's going to pass through the origin, through 0, 0. So in this case, we have the point 0, 0 on our graph, and b is equal to 0. So that's easy. The students need to be able to identify this is our starting point. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't always work out so nicely, and we don't have a 0 in this table. So there's a couple of ways to figure out what that starting point is. Once we've identified the slope, and we know that for every one change in our independent variable, we get 20 added to our dependent variable. This is one that was a favorite of my students. We like to back things up. So if I put 0 here, then I added 1 to go from 0 to 1. So what number must I have added to this value to get 20? And the answer is, well, I added 1 here, I added 1 here, I added 20 here, so I had to also add 20 because of that constant rate of change. So what number did I add 20 to get 20? Well, then that number is 0. So our starting point again is 0, 0, but it wasn't as obvious in this table as it was in the other. Let's look at another one, and this one's fun. In between 2 and negative 2 is our 0. Now, a lot of students like to go back 1, 0, so that they know that they back up from 2 to 1 and then from 1 to 0. And we looked down at our slope and we saw our slope was negative 2 over 1. So when my change in x is 1, which it is right here, then my change in y is going to be negative 2. That means I had to have subtracted 2 to get here. So what number did I subtract 2 from to get to 1? We'll have to think about that. It must have been 3, right? 3 minus 2 is 1. And that gives me my 1, 3. Now I need to back up one more time from something. I subtracted 2 and I got 3. Oh, now I'm on track here. 5 minus 2 is 3. So I believe that my y-intercept is 0, 5, or that my b is equal to 5. Now I'm going to show you a way to check this, just in case you don't like the backing it up thing. When we found our slope, we know that our process is we take our independent variable 10 times our slope, right? Because that's y equals mx plus b is what we're shooting for, right? So we have our slope, which is negative 2, and we multiply it by our x, which is 10. So I get negative 20. But the answer isn't negative 20. So I must have added something to that to get negative 15. If I add 5, does it work? So the question is 10 times my slope plus what I think is my y-intercept equal to negative 15? Well, let's check it. Negative 20 plus 5, that does equal negative 15. So 5 works here. But I'm going to check it one more time just to make sure. So is 5 times negative 2 plus 5 equal to negative 5. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10 plus 5. I add those two together and I do get negative 5. So that works as well. So we know that our equation is y equals negative 2x plus 5. This is my starting point and there's my slope.